Hello everyone and happy Thursday. I am here to share with you today some cards using the To Market Suite collection. And I also want to chat about this. This is our new scrapbooking brochure. It is a digital brochure and I have printed one off because I like to look at the hard copy of things. And I wanted to talk for a little bit today about this brochure and the products that you will get to purchase starting on September 4th, which is Wednesday next week. So some of you may know that close to my heart, they kind of closed up their operations and they did some negotiations with Stampin Up, and Stampin Up welcomed a lot of the makers into our Stampin Up family. And at that time, Stampin Up also committed to having our own scrapbooking line. So they have collaborated with some close to my heart people. We're bringing over some of the types of products that they carried. And I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on those because I stay pretty exclusive to Stampin' Up! With what I use in my paper crafting. But I think what is in this brochure is really awesome. So normally Stampin' Up! Is working over a year ahead as far as creating products and getting them ready for us. They put this together in 3 months. So it was very fast tracked, and that is why it is a digital brochure only. So it is kind of like a companion to our upcoming mini catalog with all the holiday stuff in it. But it's just digital. In the future, they are working towards having the scrapbooking products included in our regular catalogs. So the printed versions, it will not be digital forever. But for right now, that's the way it is because they had to work so fast to add it to our product line. So like I said, I printed mine off because I like to see things. I need to study it and decide what I'm going to buy because they did not do a pre-order for demonstrators on these products this time. And part of that, I think, was the speed at even getting products designed and then to their warehouse. So I'm excited to shop these products, just like I hope you are. I do think that some of them are going to sell out. So Stampin' Up! Has not carried scrapbooking products for a while, at least very many. I think it is something that a lot of people want, and they had a hard time predicting how much to order because they don't really have anything to base it off of. So even though they have tried their best to have enough in stock, my guess is that some of these products are going to go out of stock. And it will work kind of like our online exclusive products. So some of them will be while supplies last. If you still see it in the online store and it says currently unavailable, that means they're ordering more and it will come back in stock. If it just disappears completely, then it's gone for good. So my suggestion, if you like some of these things, is to order right away on Wednesday. And hopefully your budget will allow that. Because that's the problem I'm running into. I want one of everything. And I don't think that my budget will allow that. Okay, so let's see here. I printed it off single-sided. I probably should have done double-sided. But this will work better for in the camera anyways. So the first thing that you are going to see in the brochure is two-tone cardstock. Now, I don't know everything about this yet, but it is printed instead of dyed all the way through like our regular cardstock. And so on one side, it is the regular shade of the color, and then the back side is a lighter shade of that same color. It comes in 12 by 12. You get 12 sheets for $10. And they are starting out with these 4 colors that coordinate with some of the other products. But eventually they will have this two-tone cardstock in all our colors, which I think is awesome. I'm not sure of the weight of this, if it is more similar to our designer series paper or our cardstock. So I definitely plan on ordering some to see what it's like. Okay, and then also on this next page, so it shows you more of the things and techniques you can do with the two-tone cardstock. We also are going to have another white cardstock. It's called White Willow, and it is the close to my heart. It used to be called White Daisy. So, you know, Stampin' Up! Always has their color names that both start with the same letter. So they just renamed it. I've heard good things about it, but I've never tried it. So I'm excited to try that also. and that is also in 12 by 12. Okay, this is the part I think I'm most excited about. These are going to be scrapbooking workshop kits, which I guess is a product that Close to My Heart had before. And it's a kit that includes everything you need to make 3 2-page scrapbook spreads. Okay, I love this for a couple reasons. 1, it all coordinates. 2, you don't have to come up with the idea by yourself. And I just think it's awesome. So this one's $37. It coordinates with a suite in the mini catalog. It lists additional products that you might need to purchase. It lists everything that is in the kit, all the colors. I love how detailed they were in this brochure. I think that's awesome. And then this page shows you the 3 spreads that you're going to make. And the directions for these also look very detailed. They're like our kit collection directions, but it's a larger flyer or brochure that has the instructions and very, very detailed. So I am excited about that also. Stampin' Up! Does have a video out that kind of explains these scrapbooking workshop kits. I am not 100% sure if I am allowed to share that yet, so I haven't. But it will be coming soon. We are allowed to share the inside of this brochure. I think that's because it's digital, and I don't know. They said we could. Usually we cannot show the inside of a catalog before it goes live, but I appreciate that they are letting us do that this time because I think you guys want to get excited about these products too, and I really do think some of them are going to sell out. Okay, so this goes along with that scrapbooking workshop kit. These are products that I think you can use to scrapbook with your own designs, but they coordinate. So there's designer series paper and a sticker sheet, and I believe this is the same designer series paper that is in the mini catalog, but if you buy it with this item code, it also comes with a sticker sheet. There is a stamp set, and then there's more two-tone cardstock that comes in coordinating colors. Okay, so that's this page. It is probably like this in the brochure, but you know, it's easier to see, to fit it all on the screen this way. Okay, so yep, the designer series paper is the same as, you can buy the pack just by itself in our mini catalog. If you buy it this way, you get the sticker sheet too. Here's the two-tone cardstock colors, and then a stamp set. And the stamp sets are made specifically for scrapbooking, and I really love everything. Like I said, I want one of everything. I don't think my budget would appreciate that. Okay, then we have our second scrapbooking workshop kit. This one also coordinates with a suite in the mini catalog. This one is $25. So I think that's interesting too, that they are at different price points. So that's kind of helpful, but you're still going to be making 3 2-page spreads. Again, it lists additional products that you might want. And, oh, this is a cool thing, photo placeholders. So I didn't know what they meant by this when I heard about it. I was thinking like, you know, little corners that hold your photos or something like that. This is actually sheets that are cut. They tell you what size they are, and you can place them on your page to see where you want to place your photos, or you can put them there if you don't have photos yet. And I love that they tell you what size, so you can, I don't think there's a picture of them in here, but in the video, which I will share next week, it's really cool because it'll help you for placement. Like these look like 3x4. So you put the little 3x4 markers here, and you can see how those different sizes will fit on your page, which I think is really neat. Okay, so that is that one, and then you've got more coordinating products, and like this one, or the last one, you have designer series paper that is also in the mini catalog, but in this version you can buy it with the sticker sheet. You've got more of the two-tone cardstock, and then another stamp set, so that is a lot of fun. Okay, there are 4 scrapbooking workshop kits total. Now, this one, I think, this is the one I'm betting on will sell out the fastest. We did not have a ton of Halloween products in our catalog this year. In fact, I don't think there's any. We had some in our online exclusives, and that kit that sold out, really quickly. So if you like the Halloween stuff and you like this scrapbooking kit, this is the one I would for sure buy right away. This one's $28. I think it is really cute. Here are the spreads for this one. And then you also have more designer series paper and the sticker sheet, which if you are more into card making or treat packaging for Halloween, here is your Halloween designer series paper. So this one, I didn't pay attention. It probably is not listed this way on the other ones because it's in the mini catalog. But this one you can buy the designer series paper by itself or with the sticker sheet. And so you've got a whole gamut of colors for this two-tone cardstock. This is a fun Halloween stamp set, and then the designer series paper, which I think is really fun this year. I actually really like this. So if you are looking for Halloween stuff, definitely add this to your wish list and get that right away, because I don't know. I'm predicting that's going to go really fast. All right, and then the last scrapbooking workshop kit is a fall one. So this is kind of cool. I didn't notice this before. I wonder if this is like wood cuts or I don't know if it says. There's a sticker sheet, ephemera sheets, a pre-cut sheet. Maybe this is the pre-cut sheet. It looks like it's wood elements though, which is really cool. Here are the 3 spreads for that one. These are really pretty too. So if they can put together these products in 3 months, just imagine what they're going to do in the future. And you can see there's other inspiration in here too of other ideas of pages you could do with the paper and the stamp sets. So if you were looking for more fall designer series paper, this one too, you can buy the paper by itself or with the sticker sheet. More of the two-tone cardstock. Love it. Okay, so that is the scrapbooking brochure. Those products will be available starting on Wednesday, September 4th. Usually it's sometimes midnight, it's sometimes 3 a.m. Mountain Time. I am not sure. We also are going to have 2 new kits released on the 4th, and that's the day the holiday catalog starts. So a lot of things happening on Wednesday next week. But that scrapbooking brochure is pretty exciting, I think, and I wanted to make sure to share it here with you today. Okay, let's get on to our cards for this week. We are going to be using the To Market Suite Collection. So this is one of the lower priced suites in our catalog. It includes a stamp set and dies, and you can see the die set is a little bit smaller, but you still got good variety here. You've got this fun bag that you can put your veggies in, or other things if you are creative like that. You've got all the open line stamps that will cut out some of your veggies over here. You've got a little bow, you've got some tiny flowers, and if anyone can tell me what this one is, I would love to know because I cannot figure that out. I need to look at the samples closer. I haven't done that, but if you know what that little one is, please comment and let me know so I can use it. Okay, we've also got in this suite the To Market Designer Series paper. And this one, the coordinating colors are Blackberry Bliss, Garden Green, Pecan Pie, Pumpkin Pie, and Real Red. I love this paper because it does have the patterns that have the veggies and stuff, but then it has more, I don't know, neutral type backgrounds. I like this wood grain one and these plaids. And the polka dots, of course. So lots of options with this. This is one of the designer series papers that is on sale through Saturday. It is 15% off. So if you like it, I would buy it before Saturday. And then there's also some pretty embellishments in this suite. These are on our low inventory list right now. So if you like them, make sure you add those to your order with the paper also so that you get them in case they go out of stock. But pretty colors. You have the Blackberry Bliss, Garden Green. I believe this is white. And I'm not sure if this, it looks like Lemon Lime Twist, but I am not positive. Maybe it's Granny Apple Green too. It will probably go with a number of colors. Okay, so let me show you the 3 cards for today. we are going to be making these 3 cards. Can you see all of them? Maybe I should turn it this way. There we go. Now they are all in there. So I have 3 cards to share with you today. This one might not look like it from your quick glance, but I had some troubles when I was making this one. So hopefully the one we make on camera today is going to be better than this one, because I made a few boo-boos, and I will show you those when we get going. If you would like a card kit to make these 3 cards this week, all you have to do is place an order with me now through Tuesday. So your order has to be at least $40 before tax and shipping. And if you're using up any of your bonus days coupons, it also needs to be $40 after you take those off. If you spend more than $50, then I will double the cards. So you'll get a card kit to make 2 of each. So that's kind of fun, and I will put a shopping link in the description of the video when I'm done. I also like to give away the cards that I make every week. So if you want a chance at one of those, I draw winners from people who comment and like the video. And so I love your interaction. Make sure you say hi if you're here. And when you interact, you have a chance to win one of the 3 cards. So that also is fun. Okay, here is our first card for today. And I have something special to show you with this one at the end, after we're done making it. So make sure you stick around for that. Okay, let's pull out all our pieces. When you order and you receive your card kit, this is what you're going to get: an envelope with all the pieces that you need for the card. So this one has a Blackberry Bliss card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half. Then we have a piece of that very pretty designer series paper that is 5.25 by 4. And we're going to adhere that to our card base. You can use whatever adhesive you like. My personal favorite is the Stampin' Seal Plus. So we'll lay that down here. Then I have another piece of the designer series paper. So it's the back side of this one. And this one is 1.5 by 4. And we're just going to lay that down across the middle. Does not have to be exact. Just get close to the middle. Then I have another piece of Blackberry Bliss that is 3.25 by 4.25. And another piece of that designer series paper that is 3 by 4. And if you have been watching me for a while, you know that 3 by 4 is one of my favorite sizes to cut the designer series paper to, because you get 12 pieces out of one sheet with no waste. And if you saw the card I posted yesterday, that also used a 3 by 4 piece as well. So this is just another layout using the 3 by 4. This one we're going to pop up with some dimensionals. And one in the middle so it doesn't sag. Okay, someone told me what that is for. You think it might be stems for the flowers? I was wondering that too, but I was like, why is there stems on both sides? I don't know. Maybe it's like a vine of flowers. I'm not sure. I was thinking that too, but I'm not sure. Okay, this is a crumb cake label that I cut with the Nested Essentials dies. If you don't have that set of dies yet, it is a great set. It has different sizes of this shape. It also has stitched banners and, oh, what's left? Oh, stitched rectangles that have rounded corners. They're just great shapes for layering and for sentiments. So we're going to put that on the left side. Now there's one sheet of the designer series paper that has a bunch of different flower bouquets. So unfortunately there is no die that will cut these out, but you can of course fussy cut them. I meant to bring a pencil in here to show you this trick, but I forgot, and I don't think I have one, even though I am sitting at a desk, but I don't see a pencil. My tip for this is use a pencil to draw a light outline around your flower, and then you have something to follow as a guide, and when you're done you can erase any pencil lines that are left, and that really does help with the fussy cutting. So I was going to show you that because I know I've shared that tip before, but I don't think I've actually showed you. And then I forgot a pencil, but if that is the only thing I forgot today, we will be happy. Last week I think I forgot like 3 different things. That is the way some days go. So you can watch me fussy cut this. I'm not going to make you watch me fussy cut anything else today though. So just these flowers. So while I do this, tell me your plans for Labor Day weekend. Are you doing anything fun? Going somewhere? So we did a lot of traveling this summer, and so all of us kind of thought, no, we don't really want to go anywhere for Labor Day. We just want to stay home. So we may go to the zoo one morning, and because it's been pretty nice out in the mornings here recently in the 80s, which maybe sounds hot to some of you, but to us it feels really nice. So we might go to the zoo one morning, and we're having friends over on Monday. My kids actually have off of school tomorrow too, which is really nice. It gives us a 4-day weekend. So they've all talked about different things they want to bake. So I'm sure my kitchen is going to be a mess when they go back to school on Tuesday, but that's okay. We try and get them to clean up after themselves in the kitchen, and that's sometimes worse. But they all like to bake, and they all like to do things in the kitchen. So I think there's a long list of things that are going to be made this weekend at my house. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like that tip for fussy cutting. I think it was Erica Serwin that I first heard that tip from. Or maybe it was one of the concept artists at Stampin' Up that shared it one time. But it really helps to just draw that outline. I'm not sure why. It must be kind of more of a visual thing than just looking at it and cutting with your scissors, but I wanted to show you, and there's no pencil to be found. Okay, so there are flowers, and you can use glue or your Stampin' Seal, whatever you want. I probably should use glue, but we'll use glue later, and that'll be enough glue for me today. Okay, so those flowers fit nicely on that label. Then I have a white label that I have cut with I think it's the Hearts and Hugs dies. Those cute little critters. We are going to use Blackberry Bliss ink and stamp the Bursting with Happiness sentiment. This is a nice little label from this set. It fits a lot of different sentiments, not just the ones in the stamp set it goes with. There we go. Close up our ink here. Okay, this we are going to attach with dimensionals. And I think they just fit on this label. If you line up the flat parts with the edge, they fit just right in there. So I want it hanging off the edge a little bit on the right side. You could center it if you wanted to. And then I think the linen thread goes really well with this suite. So I'm going to tie a double bow. So I know about how much it takes me to tie a bow. So I just fold it and do double that. Cut my thread and then cut it in half. And then you've got the same length to do your double bow, and it's nice and curly. Oops, nice and curly from being wound around that thing. I don't know if I liked it better when we had them on the longer like piece of cardboard or like this. Okay, so there's my double bow. I'm going to get a glue dot to attach that, and then we'll see if we need to trim it. So I just kind of put it where those flowers are wrapped up already. And I think we'll trim just a little bit off the edge there, so it doesn't hang into our sentiment too much. Okay, and then of course we have to finish off with some of our gems. Let's see, these are the transparent adhesive backed dots. I can never remember any of the names. You know what, when I started with Stampin' Up, I was younger and my memory worked a lot better at remembering all of those things. but as the years go on, my brain does not hold that type of information anymore. Okay, so here's our card. I think this one is my favorite one today. I just love Blackberry Bliss. Now, I have a fun scrapbooking tip to share with you. So I attended a virtual demonstrator event recently, and I don't know if any of you know Rachel Tessman. She is a demonstrator who does a lot with paper pumpkins. So maybe her name is Stamp Your Art Out on YouTube and things like that. And she does a lot of alternate paper pumpkin samples, but she also likes scrapbooking, and she shared this tip with us during the event, and I thought it was an awesome one because we're coming out with new scrapbooking products, and you have the ones that are done for you, but if you have not scrapbooked for a while, like me, or you are new to scrapbooking and you want to get started, this is a great tip. So this is a 12 by 12 sheet of the Designer Series paper. And I have cut pieces of Blackberry Bliss to the same size as a card front. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it'd be pretty easy to cut a 4 by 6 photo down. You just need to trim a little off of one side to make it 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so your photos can fit in here. And then just take a card front and finish your page off with that. How cool is that? It is a super easy way to take your card making skills and bring them into scrapbooking. And I just loved that tip because it was like an aha light bulb moment. Like, oh, this could be really easy. And then if you wanted, you could add other little things in the corners or, you know, make it more fancy, but you don't have to. I thought that was a great tip. So I wanted to make sure to share it here because I think I might use that in scrapbooking sometimes, and it's a great layout idea. So I purposely made my sample flat and not a card so that I could stick it right on that scrapbook page. But it's great as a card or in addition to your scrapbooking. Okay, on to our second card. Now, has anyone noticed the 2 boo-boos I made on here? Okay, one is I used the wrong top for the carrots. I realized this as I was making the third card and I was using the carrot top again, and I was like, wait a second, that is not the carrot top. So my eyes were not working properly when I did that one, and my carrots ended up a little bit far out of the bucket. So we're going to try and do our second card a little bit better. But all right, if you do not want to use a bunch of ink colors and you just want to make it easy on yourself, you can stamp your vegetables tone on tone on the cardstock and make kind of a neat background. There's also a sheet of the Designer Series paper that has a bunch of the vegetables, and you can use the dies to cut them out. So you don't have to stamp all of them. The only one that doesn't cut out is the bell pepper. So that one I fussy cut, and I did that ahead of time so you didn't have to watch me fussy cut that. There is also a sheet of the Designer Series paper that has a bunch of different containers. It's the back of this one, so let me show you. So if you get a card kit, you may get a different one, but there are lots of different bags and barrels and all sorts of things. And of course there aren't dies for those either, but they are pretty simple to fussy cut. So that is not hard at all. All right, for this one I have a pecan pie card base. It is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And we are just going to stamp a bunch of our vegetables here in pecan pie ink to create that background on the edge. And this time we will do the correct top for the carrots. And I forgot my scrap paper again, so we will just use this. All right, so I'm going to start with the lettuce because that is the largest image. And if you are stamping any type of background like this, you want to make sure you start with the largest image, and then you can fill in with the smaller ones. You also want to make sure that you have some type of a foam mat or a glass mat underneath. These photopolymer stamps, especially these that are a little more detailed and larger, then you will get a clear, crisp image when you stamp. All right, and I did bring my stamp cleaner in here today because we are going to use these stamps on the third card too. You know what? Last week, if any of you remember, I could not find my stamp cleaner, and I was cleaning up in my house the other day and discovered it was still in a bag of stamping stuff that I had packed to take on a trip that was closer to the beginning of summer. So most of the time I just rinse my stamps in the sink, to be honest. And yeah, it was still in that bag, packed from that trip. So I found it. That was good. And I brought it back to my craft room. So some of these are 2-step stamps, like the carrots have the vegetable and then the top. I think that's probably good. And we just really need to go around the edges because we are covering up the middle. Okay, so I've got my correct carrot top here. And it just kind of fits right in there. And if it is not exact, it is okay. No one is going to study your card that closely. In fact, my first card where I made mistakes, I'm pretty sure would be fine. No one would notice if I didn't point them out. Okay, and then you've got your onion. And I am not 100% sure which end the little thing's supposed to come out of. I don't study my onions that closely when I get them from the store, so we are just going to make an educated guess. And like I said with the carrot tops, I don't think anybody's going to study it and say that is incorrect. So, adding the cute little top, and there is a couple different tops. I think this is the correct one. But again, it is just a handmade card, so no one's going to study it that closely and tell you if you're wrong. At least I hope they wouldn't. I hope they just appreciate your card. Okay, let's move our scrap paper out of the way. All right, so now I have another piece of the designer series paper. The other side is those tomatoes, and I'm going to attach this with dimensionals, if I can find where I put them, underneath my stamp cleaner, of course. That is probably the number one place where I find missing things that I'm looking for, is underneath other things. Pile things on top and then they disappear. Okay, and this piece, I should have said the measurements. This piece is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And I guess I could have gone a little closer to the edge on some of my vegetables. Oops. Okay, that's all right. Then I have a piece of white here, and I guess I need to bring back in my scrap paper because we're going to go off the edge a little bit on this one. This is one of my favorite stamps in the stamp set, actually. This little crosshatch, because I think it is a great texture stamp. And if you saw the card I posted the other day that had nothing to do with vegetables, I used this stamp on that one also, and I really like it. So we're just going to stamp across the top in pecan pie ink, and then across the bottom. All right, close that up, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment in Blackberry Bliss. I really like the sentiments in the stamp set too. I feel like they could be used with or without the vegetables. I like the fonts. And anything looks good in Blackberry Bliss, in my opinion. Okay, now we've just got to build our little basket here. So I used a different one than I used on my sample card, so you could kind of see that. I did not do a great job of laying things out ahead of time the first time I did this, so I'm going to do a better job of that this time so our carrots are not sticking out there. Okay, so we've got our lettuce. Tuck the carrots behind there probably. And tomatoes. Our pepper. And I think look, okay, if you're not sure where to put things, just look at the designer series paper, and I did put it on the correct end of the onion, so perfect. Okay, so I kind of have an idea where things are going to go. So now that I've got that, I'm going to bring in my green glue, which allows you to kind of move things around a little bit, but only until it dries, which does not take very long, at least in Arizona. And I found that out because I realized the carrots were like that, but there was no way they were moving after I figured it out. So this glue is strong, but if you use it, you have a little bit of wiggle room, at least at first. All right, then our pepper. So everything was die cut except for the pepper and the basket. Now, if you get the card kit this week, I'm just going to cut out, like, not fussy cut or die cut. I'm just going to give you some of the vegetables. And if you have the dies, then you can use the dies to cut them out, or you can fussy cut them yourself. That will save me a little bit of time, and maybe I can just give you a larger portion of the paper, and then you use the vegetables you want. All right. Oh, let's move him up a little bit. That's why that's the last one on there. So we can still move him. And I guess I could use my Stampin' Seal for this, but since I have the glue out, we'll use the glue. Okay, there we go. So this card idea I got from Bree Renwick. She's one of the Artisan Design team members. And I mostly copied her card, but she had embossed her sentiment in white on a Blackberry Bliss circle, which was really pretty. But I decided I didn't want to mess with embossing, and so I just stamped my sentiment right on this piece of cardstock. Okay, so then you can lay that down. And on this one, it had like a little handle, so I just put the bow there, but you can tie a bow with your linen thread, or you could use any kind of twine if you wanted. I think any kind of twine would work, or any natural ribbon. Your card kit does not include the ribbon or the twine and the embellishments, so you can use whatever you have on hand or add it to your order. All right, so we'll put the bow there. And then we're going to use a few of the garden green dots this time to kind of match our garden green designer series paper. And you can just add a few like that. So there is our second card. All right, time for the third one. So I debated using this many colors, but I had to show you how all of these stamps stamp because it's kind of like magic, and it's just fun. So you can use whatever colors you have on hand, or I added 4 additional colors on this card outside of the Blackberry Bliss and Pecan Pie that we already used. And this card is just a lot of stamping, so it's kind of fun and simple, and you don't need too many supplies to do it outside of your ink pads. Now I have to tell you a funny story about this card. So this one I copied mostly from Heidi Collins, and there might be one similar to this in the catalog, I'm not sure. And I think she may have used Basic Beige, but I thought this is a great card for me to do today because have you ever run out of basic white cardstock? I was making cards this week and cutting for classes, and I realized I am just about out of basic white. So I had to go on real quick and I ordered 6 packs, so I won't run out again for a while. But I thought we'll use Basic Beige on this card because I don't have enough white, and I also really like Basic Beige, and it kind of gives it a little bit different look. So that is our card base, 5.5 by 8.5, fold in half. And then I have a second piece of the Basic Beige here that is 3.5 by 4 3/4. We'll bring our scrap paper back in. Now, just like I told you on that last card, when you're doing a lot of stamping like this, you want to start with your largest image. So we're going to start with the lettuce in Granny Apple Green. And I will tell you, my Granny Apple Green ink pad severely needs to be re-inked. But I don't have the ink refill, so guess what's going on my next order? But there is a solid image for the lettuce, and then there is a detailed one. So we're going to do the solid one in Granny Apple Green. And you can just stamp it a few times across here, and then we'll fill in with the other vegetables. And if you use a nice, well-inked Granny Apple Green ink pad, you will get a more vibrant color than I am getting here. Okay, and I'm just pulling colors from the designer series paper. I don't know if Granny Apple Green's in there, but we're going to make it work. Garden Green, though, is in the designer series paper, and that is great for adding the detail. So now we've got a detailed stamp, and it does kind of fit right on that lettuce. It does not need to be exact. As long as you get close, that is all that matters. And I think this is like magic when you stamp this, and it just comes to life. So, very cool, right? Okay, I'm going to leave the garden green out because we will be using that for some of our other vegetables as well. But I am going to pull out my pumpkin pie ink next for the carrots. Hi, Mary Ellen. Thank you for watching and sharing. I'm glad you are here. And if you did not get to see the beginning, you'll have to make sure you go back and watch. All right, let's see where I left my carrots here. Right here in front of me. Okay, so pumpkin pie carrots we're going to add next. And maybe one more a little bit off the side there. Then we've got our carrot top, and we will do that in the garden green also. And if you notice on the designer series paper, when it has the different vegetables, some of the tops are darker and some of them are lighter. So you've got variation, and that's kind of fun. Okay, then we have our tomatoes, and I have not decided yet if it's easier to stamp the stems or the tomatoes first, but we're going to go with the tomatoes and stamp them in real red. I also started with the tomatoes because obviously they're bigger than the stems. And so it's a little bit easier to see where they're going to fit if you do the tomatoes first and then add the stems after. Oh, let's see. How do I want to position these? Sure, like that. Okay. We are going to use garden green again for the stems. And these are a little bit tricky to figure out how they fit, but there is a certain way where they all line up, and I think something like that, maybe. Ooh, that wasn't too bad. Okay, now we've got to do it this way. Let's see if I can get it lined up again. Pretty close anyways. There we go. All right, and then last but not least, we have our Blackberry Bliss onions. And we'll just add a few of those in here. Make sure you leave room for the little top. Oh my. Okay, let's see if we can redo that one. Ooh, not too bad. Okay. I think that's good. And then I actually decided to use pecan pie for the top on this one. On the designer series paper, it is green. But thinking about, well, I guess sometimes it's green when it's growing. When they're ready to be picked, sometimes when that top dies off, it's brown. So I did pecan pie, but you could stick with the garden green if you wanted to. There we go. All right, and then I should have stamped the sentiment when I had my Blackberry Bliss out. So we're going to use Blackberry Bliss for the sentiment, and this label is cut with our Labeled with Love punch. You might also have the dies, but I have the punch version, and the Thanks a Bunch sentiment fits perfectly in here. So we're going to stamp that on there. Looks like my Blackberry Bliss needs to be refilled too. I do have that ink refill, so I will have to do that. Okay, we have a layer of Blackberry Bliss here that's 3 3/4 by 5. And it's just a mat for our stamped piece. See where I tossed the card base. Here we go. I'm going to pop this piece up with some dimensionals. I am sticking these dimensionals in a different spot every time today, so it's like a treasure hunt to find them. Kind of like what I tell my kids with their stuff. If you put it in the same place every time, it'll be easy to find. I need to follow my own advice. All right, here we go. And then for the linen thread on this one, I'm going to wrap it a few times around my fingers. And then to get it to kind of stay in place, I kind of pinch it in the middle, so it's like a bow. And if you stick a glue dot in the middle, it kind of holds everything where you want it. Oops. And then I can stick it down on my card. And then we'll add some dimensionals to the back of that sentiment and put it over the top, and that'll help secure the thread in place. But that glue dot really helps, so you don't have to sit there and hold it and try and arrange it while you are doing the sentiment also. And then you can play with it a little bit more if you want to. I'm going to trim this end so it's not sticking out so far. All right, and then we're going to finish off with a few of our dots. And I use some of the lemon lime twist ones. You could use the white ones too. Let's do that on this card. And we'll just add a few of those. You could actually use any color of the dots on this one that you wanted to. So there we go. There is our third cards. I like basic beige too. Actually, I haven't used it in a while since I first got it, but basic beige is really nice. So here are the three cards that we made again today. I hope you enjoyed them. And remember, if you would like the card kit, you just need to place an order with me now through Tuesday. That is at least $40 before tax and shipping. And if it's over $50, I will double the cards and send you a card kit for 2 of each. So thank you so much for watching today. I hope you like the cards. You can go back if you missed the beginning and hear more about our new scrapbooking products. And I will see you again next week. Bye.